Now at 5 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, 2 teens in custody and one 23-year-old man on the run in the murder of Jared Applin.
A vacant building destroyed by fire this morning in Cuero.
Plus, severe weather is moving through parts of Texas, causing dangerous road conditions.
Looking at possibly, she was talking about road conditions, yeah, with a freeze warning in effect, could have an icy start tomorrow morning. We'll talk all about it coming up.
Thanks, Howie. 5 people had to go to the hospital following a fire at this mobile home in Bloomington. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us. I'm James Munoz.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
5 people had to go to the hospital following a mobile home fire. It happened around 9 o'clock in Bloomington. The 5 people were taken to the hospital as a precaution, and they're expected to be okay.
We have transported five members. There are 3 adults and 2 children to one of the local hospitals for observation.
Firefighters say the family was using the stove to heat the home, and a child placed a baseball glove on the stove, which caught fire and spread to a mattress on the floor. The mobile home had smoke damage to the kitchen and living room areas.
Firefighters in Cuero responding to a fire around 6 a.m. today. The building was vacant and had no electricity or gas services. Locals there say it used to be a cabinet shop, but was abandoned for several years. This was near Esplanade and Morgan. No word on what caused the fire. The area reopened to traffic around noon today.
In Calhoun County, the search continues for a man missing after a boating crash near Port O'Connor. The man identified as Hunter Hadley. The search was discontinued yesterday but did go on today. The sheriff's office says the call came in around 11:30 p.m. Friday after Hadley's boat hit a large barge. One man was taken to the hospital, but Hadley is still missing. Last Tuesday, a 25-year-old man was found dead inside a car in Bay City. Family members say Jared Applin was a father of 2 little girls and was also caring for his fiance's son. He was found at 1212 Whitson Street. 2 teens are in custody and a 23-year-old man remains on the run. Authorities say 17-year-old Clarence Small turned himself in last Thursday in Baytown. He's charged with murder and aggravated robbery. Again, the victim, 25-year-old Jared Applin, he was found dead inside a vehicle last Tuesday in Bay City. Now still on the run is 23-year-old Joshua Caesar. He may be in the Bay City area or the El Campo area. He's considered armed and dangerous. A 16-year-old juvenile was also detained in this case and faces murder charges and several other charges. If you have any information, you can call the Bay City PD at 979-245-8500. Victoria police are trying to identify 2 people wanted in a wheelchair theft. It happened at a Walmart on North Navarro. If you recognize these people in this photo, police want to hear from you. Call the VPD at 361-485-3700. An initial report by police about the arrest of Tyree Nichols contradicts video of officers beating him. A warning: this video contains graphic and disturbing images of the incident. Body cam video showing the Memphis police officers beating Nichols on January 7th. He died at a hospital 3 days later. The report contradicts the police report written hours later. The document doesn't mention officers beating Nichols and accuses Nichols of being violent, despite footage showing him not fighting back. It's unclear who wrote that report.
Severe weather moved through parts of Texas on Monday, causing dangerous road conditions. The icy roads caused several crashes and stalls across North Texas. Authorities say the total ice or sleet could be up to ½ an inch as the winter warning continues through Wednesday morning. The most significant impacts are expected to start today.
Anybody who needs to be out driving needs to be very cautious of the conditions, because your eye may not be able to perceive the hazard that's in front of you.
The Texas Department of Transportation and other road crews are already working on roadways to clear and melt the ice. Now, Victoria ISD will have a 2-hour delayed start time on Wednesday due to the winter weather conditions and anticipated overnight and early morning hazardous road conditions throughout the city and county. Victoria ISD elementary schools will start classes at 10 a.m., middle schools at 10:30 a.m., and high schools at 9:30 a.m.
And due to possible freezing rain, TxDOT crews are pre-treating bridges and overpasses on major highways going through Goliad County. Those include U.S. Highway 59, U.S. Highway 183. TxDOT crews will work 12-hour shifts around the clock to monitor roadways and continue treatment operations as necessary. More area school districts delaying the start of the school day tomorrow. Classes at St. Joe High School will open at 9:30 a.m. Faith Academy classes start Wednesday at 10 a.m. The Yoakum ISD will have a 2-hour delay with buses running on a 2-hour delay schedule. The Goliad ISD campuses open at 10 a.m. Wednesday with a 2-hour 10-minute delay for buses. A 2-hour delay for classes starting Wednesday morning for the Hallettsville ISD and the Bloomington ISD.
And with that, let's take a look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Howie Gordon. Howie.
Thanks, Karina. That's right. You heard a lot of it. You're going to hear some more. But yes, potential freezing rain, icy conditions. You want to take it on the slower side with the late starts. Should be easier with morning commutes and traffic because, yes, we could see temperatures from 30 to 32, and that is freezing at 32. Here's our radar. So seeing that cooler air from the north undercut the warm air, and that is bringing us our showers, but we're going to see some more heavy precipitation as some energy pushes in from the west. Here's our current temperatures. Yeah, already in the 30s in some spots with the winds and the wind chills. Winds around 30 miles per hour, making it feel like potentially in the 20s and the teens. This evening in the 30s, yes, 40% chance of rain. Overnight, down to 32. You want to drive on the slower side. We'll talk more about our wintry precipitation and winter weather advisories coming up in just a bit. James, Karina.
Howie, thank you. The Salvation Army of Victoria is making plans to open its main office at 1302 North Lewis Street as a cold weather shelter. The Salvation Army of Victoria opens its cold weather shelter when the temperature drops below 39 degrees. The Victoria Area Homeless Coalition will distribute warming supplies to those in need tonight at various locations. You can reach Midcoast Family Services at 361-575-7842. The center needs sleeping bags and socks if you have some to donate at 2010 North Navarro, Suite A. The warming center is at C3 Victory, 1604 East Crestwood Drive. It's open from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. today and tomorrow.
Russia's foreign minister says he received a message from U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken saying stop and leave Ukraine. In a press conference, Sergei Lavrov said the message was delivered to him by his Egyptian counterpart who met with Blinken on Monday. He said Russia is, quote, ready to listen to any serious proposals aimed at resolving the situation, but all they continue to hear is that Russia must leave Ukraine. Congressman George Santos plans to recuse himself from both of his congressional committee assignments. Two lawmakers say Santos shared his decision in a closed-door meeting this morning. He's now under investigation by the Ethics Committee. The New York Republican was assigned seats on the House Small Business and Science Committees.
I met with George Santos yesterday, and I think it was an appropriate decision that until he can clear everything up, he's off committees right now.
Was that something that you asked him in the meeting?
We had a discussion, and he asked me if he could do that, so I think it was the appropriate decision.
Santos was entangled in controversy since the New York Times reported much of his life story, including his work history and personal life, to simply not be true. A number of his congressional colleagues have called for his resignation. Santos confirmed again today that he is not resigning his seat.
Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5, a man in Ohio arrested after authorities say they found more than 40 dead and emaciated dogs on his property.
Also ahead, Dallas police released an image of a man wanted for questioning in the case of 2 missing monkeys at the Dallas Zoo.
We're starting out 2023 with Will Martin as your military hero for the month of January. Will is also one of the first veterans we've honored posthumously at Crossroads today, because earlier this month, Will passed away. But that doesn't mean his impact is gone. Will was born in Wharton, and soon after his family moved to Victoria, where he'd spend his entire life. Will was raised by his grandparents, and in 1965 he joined the United States Navy, serving in the Vietnam War. Will was a Navy Seabee, which is a special unit in the Navy whose formal name is the Construction Battalion, hence the name Seabee. Essentially, Seabees are true to their motto: they can build just about anything, anywhere. Will's wife, Marilyn Martin, notes that there aren't many Seabees around.
So there's just not that many of them around. So whenever you hear somebody's a Navy Seabee, you go, oh my gosh, you know, my grandpa was, or my husband was. So there's not many of them around.
After serving in the Navy, Will went on to work in the oil fields and then selling tires, and would go on to have 3 daughters. Once he retired, his service didn't end there. Will would go on to be a champion for veterans, becoming a lobbyist for charitable bingo for veterans.
We always said he just went from the oil field to the Capitol. So, you know, he's a registered lobbyist. It was for charitable bingo for veterans benefits.
It didn't stop there. Will also played a key role in cracking down on illegal game rooms. These would facilitate illegal activities and would be harmful to the community. So Will did whatever he could to eliminate these, and even helped pass a bill to set guidelines for game rooms that they must follow. He was also one of 9 members on the Texas Bingo Advisory Committee.
Because he is responsible for, they did write a bill and pass that, and he's pretty much responsible for getting that bill passed.
Will also wanted to cut down on the red tape to ensure veterans were able to access benefits.
We know some of the things that veterans go through, the hardships that they endure, and you know, PTSD, and also trying to get benefits. And he tried to get through making things easier for veterans, you know, trying to reduce some of the red tape.
Will was also instrumental in the inception of the Field of Honor off John Stockbauer. But one of his greatest impacts during his time here on Earth, you don't have to look far. Just talk to his grandson, Tyler Neese, who Will took in when Tyler was just an infant, which has impacted Tyler's life trajectory tremendously.
He's the reason why I even bothered graduating high school. He's the reason why I'm even in college. Without him, my life wouldn't be this if it wasn't for him.
Taking him under his wing, Will showed Tyler the ropes, helping him hunt and showing him how to fish, and even things like never missing a football game or practice showed Tyler how much his grandpa Will loved him.
It was weird because I always wanted the mom and dad type thing, and I never really thought about it as anything like that until high school, when I started to realize some things, that my grandma and my grandpa were my mom and dad, because they took me under their wing when they didn't have to. They didn't need to spend these last 21 years with me, but they did it because they love me, and I think that's kind of what I respect most about my grandpa. He was diehard to the bone about his family, his veterans, anybody and everybody.
And it's because of his grandpa that Tyler will see to it that he graduates with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice next year, not just for himself, but to make his grandpa proud. And Tyler can still feel his grandpa guiding him through life.
The little short talks that we had every night, and I think that's kind of what's been keeping me at least okay, is because I can still feel that he's there in my heart and in person.
And it's brought a lot of joy to both Marilyn and Will having Tyler in their lives.
That kept us young, kept us on our toes, that's for sure. But it most definitely brought great joy to us, and especially to Will.
Marilyn knows Will would be surprised by how much he is missed and loved.
I don't think Will would have known how much people loved him, appreciated him, and miss him. Most of all, me.
So thank you, Will Martin, for your dedication to those that you love and your community. And thank you to all the veterans out there, past and present, who keep our country safe every day and protect our freedoms as Americans. Adam Seibel reporting in Victoria, KAVU TV 25 News Now.
News Center 25 at 6 and 10 is also heard on KVNN 1340 AM, Victoria's News Network.
Get 12 grand off new Ram today at Victoria Dodge Jeep Ram. 12 grand off. And if that's not good enough, get low 2.9% financing for 6 years on new Ram trucks. And if that's still not good enough, get low 1.9% financing for 72 months on 2023 Grand Cherokees. It's the new year, new ride sale going on at Victoria Dodge with 12 grand off Rams and 10 grand off Dodge Durangos. We're making it happen today at Victoria Dodge, victoriadodge.com.
Every day we help kids navigate the realities of the world and make healthy, lifelong choices. Kids learn about alcohol, tobacco, and drugs in lots of ways, often from friends and siblings. While kids may hear lots of harmful information, parents do play a huge role in helping them make the right decision. Talking to your child, sitting down to a family meal at night just to discuss how their day went, or encouraging extracurricular activities can make all the difference.
A district attorney in Santa Fe has filed involuntary manslaughter charges against Alec Baldwin in the fatal shooting of cinematographer on the set of Rust. The charges were filed today. Helena Hutchins died shortly after being shot during rehearsals at a ranch on the outskirts of Santa Fe. It happened October 2021. Hannah Gutierrez Reed, who supervised weapons on the set, also charged with involuntary manslaughter.
A disturbing case of animal cruelty out of Ohio. Police arrested a man after deputies found more than 40 dead dogs on his property Saturday. Authorities also found 80 emaciated dogs and several dead chickens on the property. They said one dead dog appeared to have been tied to a tractor and beaten. The 62-year-old suspect was arrested for cruelty to companion animals. Additional charges are possible. He was ordered to be held on a $40,000 bond and is due in court on February 6th. Police want to question this man pictured about 2 emperor monkeys that went missing from the Dallas Zoo Monday. It's believed they were stolen. Investigators found the monkeys' enclosure was intentionally cut open. In surveillance video, the man wanted for questioning is seen walking slowly and with a slight limp down a nearly empty zoo sidewalk. Following the recent incidents, the zoo has increased overnight staff and security and began limiting some animals' ability to go outside overnight.
You know, many on social media sites allow children to join in when they officially become a teenager.
But the U.S. Surgeon General believes 13 is still too young for children to join those social media platforms.
In early teen years, the U.S. Surgeon General says kids are still developing their identity, and social media can have a major impact.
The skewed and often distorted environment of social media often does a disservice to many of those children.
That's why Dr. Vivek Murthy says 13 is still too young for kids to be on social media, but keeping them off those sites may be easier said than done.
It depends on your child. You know your child best.
Pediatric psychologist Ariana Hoet with Nationwide Children's Hospital says deciding whether a child is ready for social media starts with these questions. Do you have an open and trusting relationship with your child? Will they respect boundaries and expectations you set? Will they come to you if there's a problem or concern? Also consider their personality.
Do they really care about what others think about them? Or are they comfortable in their identity? How are they with peer pressure? Because again, social media is kind of opening the world to all of that.
If you answer those questions and feel they're ready, Hoet says to set up a family social media plan.
And you talk about the safety, you talk about what you're posting, how to interact with others, who you're following, and keep checking in with the child.
And set limits. Consider taking devices away at bedtime so sleep isn't affected.
Being ready doesn't mean I'm going to give them access to this thing and walk away. You still want to think about how do I monitor? How do I continue to stay in a partnership with them on how they're using it?
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And with that, here's your viewer poll this afternoon. Scan that QR code right there on your screen to participate. What is an appropriate age for children to be on social media? You can vote under age 10 through 18 plus. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate. Don Brubaker and I will have what you and your neighbors are saying on 25 News Now at 6. Now, it's day 2 of nationwide strikes in France this year. Workers are protesting over government plans to change the country's retirement policies. The government wants to raise the age from 62 to 64. The last protest on January 19th against pension reform saw more than 1 million people take to the streets of France, according to French authorities. Unions are hoping to top that today. For now, the government hasn't budged on its plans.
So with the winds and cold temperatures, look at the real feel, 26. Let's talk about the cold coming up soon.
Our next speller is Harini Logan from San Antonio.
Can I get the origin?
Kerrville, Texas.
And definition?
A place where everything is better. Known for their made-in-store tortillas, picked-at-peak produce, everyday low prices, and helpful partners.
H-E-B.
Correct.
Weather in the Crossroads can be disruptive, like the big flood, Hurricane Harvey, and the Arctic blast.
Conditions can change in an instant, which is why we're committed to keeping you and your family safe.
Warning you in advance with weather alert days, on air, online, and on our Crossroads Today mobile app.
From Victoria to Cuero and Port Lavaca, the 25 News Now First Warn Storm Team helps you plan your day every day.
With Home Chef, you're not just home cooking, you're home acing it. Our convenient options are ready in as little as 15 minutes and way quicker than takeout. When it comes to making dinner, fill in the blanks with Home Chef. Delicious, meat simple.
Get 16 free meals when you sign up at homechef.com.
All right, we'll start off in cold Cuero. That's right, cloudy skies today. We're still seeing that cool air shuffle down from the north, undercutting moisture from the Gulf, and that's bringing us some showers. Today, 39 for our high. We should be closer to 70 or closer to 67. We've been as warm as 86 back in 1911. So yes, a very, very cold day here in South Texas. And that's right, a freeze warning in place. Freezing rain possible. What does that mean? Super chilled, cold water falling from the sky, hits the ground, freezes on impact, thus creating ice and slick spots. Now, we could also have some sleet. That could be some ice and rain kind of mixing, but we're really looking out for the freezing rain that will hit the surface and, yes, create a thin layer of ice that could be very, very slick. Here's a look at our radar. I just talked about it. Moisture coming down, undercutting some of the a cooler air coming down, undercutting some of the warmer air and warmer moisture, that is, and creating these showers. We're also looking at some energy pushing in from the west. That could create some stronger showers for tonight and into tomorrow, maybe some heavier rain. We're kind of seeing the light drizzle at times at the moment. Here's our temperatures already in the low to mid 30s in some spots here in the Crossroads, a little warmer on the coast, temperatures closer to 40 or 42. Now look at these winds, some of them whipping around to about 15 to 20 miles per hour. What does that mean? We have temperatures as cold as we're looking at. Ooh, the wind chills. So Victoria has a real feel right now of 26 degrees. Yeah, it feels like the 20s right now with these winds whipping around again to 20 to 25 miles per hour. All right, here's our future tracker. Here's the cold front kind of still hanging around. We have energy pushing in. We got that undercutting. We're still seeing these showers. Again, we can see some of the heavier stuff as energy disturbances and storms kind of push in from the west, bringing some heavier totals. You're seeing this wintry mix of precipitation and then the rain. So yeah, a lot of it can stay to the north of us, but hey, we're looking at temperatures dropping to 30 to 32 potentially overnight. That could create those icy, slick conditions. A lot of the schools having a delayed start, a late start, because we want to avoid some of these problems. Now, you want to slow it down for sure. Just because there's snow and ice doesn't create the crash or a car going off the road. You got to drive responsibly and be safe and drive it on the slower side when you have icy conditions out there, even under normal conditions. Here's our future tracker again. So yeah, looking at wintry mixes, looking at rain, and hey, just got to be careful because temperatures, again, dropping down to 30 to 32 degrees. Now, by Thursday, we'll start to see a clearing, and then by Friday, warmer temperatures with some sunshine, but we got a few rough days before we get there. Small craft advisory, once again, seas occasionally up to 8 feet. So 32 overnight, 60% chance of some showers. We see some freezing rain in the mix with all that. And tomorrow, only a high of 39. Look at those winds again, and a 70% chance of some rain. Looking ahead to Cuero, here is what we have. Ooh, a nasty few days. But then, hey, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Paradise arrives back into Crossroads later on in the week. Same for Port Lavaca. Got that alert day for tomorrow. And right back here in Victoria, Wednesday, 39. Yeah, winds and rain, that's an alert day. But then, hey, look ahead to the weekend. Looking very, very, very much on the nicer side. For more weather, news, and sports, you can go to our app. That's at crossroadstoday.com. That is free with any Android and iPhone. James, Karina.
All right, Howie, thank you so much. Stay with us. We'll take a look at your stocks. Plus, Tesla confirmed the DOJ has requested documents related to its autopilot and full self-serving systems.
When it comes from McAdams, it shows you care. The freshest flowers, the prettiest plants, balloons and gift baskets too. If beautifully unique is what you seek, making lasting impressions is what we do. Always the very best value for you. When it comes from McAdams, it shows you care.
Counterfeit prescription pills laced with fentanyl are killing our kids by the thousands across the nation. The pills look safe. Can you tell which one is real? Drug dealers are pushing these deadly pills on your kids' social media. It only takes one pill to kill. And it did. You can help stop the fentanyl epidemic. Talk to your kids about the dangers of counterfeit prescription pills. Visit onepillkilled.org.
Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow up 369 points, the S&P up 58 points, and the Nasdaq up 190 points. Oil up 97 cents, closing at $78.87 a barrel. There is an investigation into Tesla's autopilot and full self-driving systems after reports of some autopilot-engaged Teslas crashing into emergency vehicles. A government report indicates it was partly to blame for a fatal accident. Tesla argues autopilot is safer than normal driving because it keeps vehicles in their lanes. As for its full self-driving features, those are designed for city streets.
Apple is accused of infringing on workers' rights. Investigators with the National Labor Relations Board found Apple illegally imposed rules on its employees, prohibiting them from talking about wages. The company also kept workers from engaging in other protected activity. The board does not have power to impose penalties. Apple can settle the charges or risk a formal complaint from the federal agency that can result in an order to change business practices. Apple has declined to comment. We'll take one last look at your forecast. Plus, thunder sleet was heard in Fort Worth. We'll explain.
Doja Cat's dress has 30,000 Swarovski crystals. With the budget over here, they gonna put those, what you call those, the little red hots all over me. Wednesday, Isaac Mizrahi.
What do you think the germiest spot in your kitchen is?
The handle of the sink.
It's actually the spice rack. It's the difference. Shock and awe here in the studio.
Next live, Alan Cumming and Antonia Gentry. Plus, travel myths in Travel and Me in 23.
You know, I'm thinking about my spice rack now and looking at it as a danger zone.
The 14-year-old kid killed while performing at a rodeo. Next, Inside Edition. How young is too young for these kid rodeo bull riders? Then, Best Actress Oscar nomination controversy. Did this little-known actress's famous pals use their clout to get her nominated? Does she deserve it?
Tell me I'm good.
Or did she get a little help from her friends? Watch the next Inside Edition.
Until recently, you were living with your mom.
Her son's eviction creates a scene.
She was trying to kick me out of the house, and she was trying to act like she was going to call the cops. I went and dialed 911, and on accident must have called them.
Then, pure drama from Mama.
She grabs the phone out of my hand and tells the dispatcher, my son, he won't get out of my house. He put his hands on me.
She's theatrical.
A little.
Next, Judge Judy.
Thunder sleet, a phenomenon rarer than thunder snow, occurred this morning in Fort Worth. There were multiple reports of thunder sleet across North Texas today as day 2 of the ongoing winter storm brings more sleet, freezing rain, and snow across parts of the Lone Star State. The occurrence of thunder during winter weather events usually coincides with the strength of the storm. Winter storm warnings are in effect for much of the state through Wednesday. All right, and with that, let's take a look at the weather with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Howie Gordon. No crazy thunder sleet here, but we still have some really cold weather going on.
I'll take the thunder sleet over the ice, over the freezing rain. A little safer as long as it doesn't hit anybody. But yeah, where its temperatures drop down 32, 30 degrees, we can see a fresh layer of ice on the streets, sidewalks, and roadways. You want to take it on the slow side and be very, very careful. Late start for most school locations. Overnight dropping down to 32, 60% chance of rain. And then with those winds, you got wind chills, feeling like it's in the 20s, maybe even cooler than that. Looking ahead to tomorrow, I don't know if we're looking ahead to it, but 30 or forward to it, 39 degrees, some showers. But yeah, we are warming up later on in the week. James, Karina.
Howie, thank you so much. Remember, we're always on at Crossroads Today Plus.
We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.